The more vulnerable you are, the more emotionally available you are, and the more you have your own boundaries, it's going to then really help you because you're not going to tolerate. So the dynamics of what I'm sharing with you, and one of the most powerful things I think you could do is to get very clear on your values. Values are sort of like what you prioritize as far as the qualities of like your identity, of your belief systems. Now, prior, if you are attracting emotionally unavailable people, you may have values that say what people think of me is a high value for me. Changing myself to appease other people is a high value for me. People's approval and validation is a high value for me. And you don't know it's there, but it's there. And therefore, you're changing to accommodate other people. Part of your self-image says, I'm broken. Now, here's one of the ways you heal. Here it is. Your emotionally unavailable parents growing up. You've internalized it. You've thought it's shame, guilt, or there's something wrong with you, self-worthiness thing. Your parents being emotionally unavailable with you right now, or when you were a kid, here's the key. That was their shit. That had nothing to do with you. Yes, as a little kid, you thought that had something to do with you. You thought that it meant you were broken, you weren't good enough, you weren't worthy. If you could just change yourself, then you could gain their love and affection. But here's the truth of the matter. Their emotional unavailability was because they went through stuff as a kid, or it was just their own reality. It had nothing to do with you. And if you are attracting people that are emotionally unavailable in your life, guess what? That's also the people you're attracting that's familiar to, that you're allowing into your orbit. That's their shit too. So if you have an ex that was emotionally unavailable, it's not because you were unbroken or you were broken or something wrong with you. That was their shit. Now, your part in this process is realizing your own emotional availability. Are you opening yourself up to that? Yes, it may not feel like a very deep connection to meet emotionally available people because it's not like the childhood energy, but at the same time, can you open yourself up to that? Can you become more emotionally vulnerable and become clear as to your own values? What do you value? If I'm dating someone now and they aren't emotionally availability, I say, oh, listen, there's a conversation that's going to be had. Listen, I've noticed this happen a couple times, and I just want you to know that I don't, this is like a deal breaker for me. This is something that I won't entertain or keep going through the patterns of. And then in the selection process, you are then saying no to something, which means you can then say yes to something else. And it's also attractive for you to have your own values. I've seen some people that were in relationships way too long because maybe they're secretly hoping they could fix their emotionally unavailable partner. And they're then, in a way, they're enabling them. They're enabling them to keep the same codependent patterns going. And a lot of times, emotionally unavailable people will have a codependent pattern that they must heal. And the way that a lot of times the codependent heals it is they go back into their self. They go back into their own energy. They go back into loving the self. And of realizing the truth. Your parents' emotionally unavailability growing up had nothing to do with you. It had to do with them. Your partner being emotionally unavailable has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. Stop taking on other people's problems. Stop taking responsibility for other people's energy. And realize that as you take and bring the energy back to self and you stop abandoning yourself and you become clear as to your own values, you will then attract people that are an equal reflection. But the key to this as well is you becoming more vulnerable. You sharing and not trying to hide shame, guilt, fear. You could even be with somebody like, listen, we're having this deep emotional conversation. It's kind of scaring me a little bit. Just want you to know that. But I'm open to having it with you. And your nervous system then begins to relax because you're not shaming it. You're not like hiding it. So a big part of this healing process is bringing the dark into light with vulnerability, being aware and recognizing the awareness of your childhood patterns in your current partners. The imago thing I'm talking about, where the imago, where like you have this image of your parents, it's both qualities that you then kind of project on your partners or find somebody that you have a deep connection with from that. It's like we're trying to heal our childhood in relationship. Is it interesting to you that very common things we say to our partners when we start to get close or we start being in a relationship, we call them baby, honey, sweetheart. It's the same shit your mom probably called you when you were a baby, when you were a kid. Oh, baby, sweetheart, snookums, whatever else your parents called you. And we call our partners that. Isn't that interesting? Because somehow deep down, it kind of reminds us of that childhood dynamic, of what's familiar. And one of the ways you can mitigate those patterns is by becoming aware of them and then feeling what comes up. And then vulnerability is going into uncomfortable emotions, going into uncomfortable feelings. When you're around somebody whose energy may make you feel a certain way, if you could be present with it, a lot of times your nervous system then begins to relax. For me, though, a big part of this has been me opening up, me realizing that the parents' unavailability growing up had nothing to do with me. Once I realized that, I started releasing the shame, but then also I had to start being in my own value system and start expressing myself to the feminine in a way that was more vulnerable. Almost making my intentions more known and not being afraid of rejection or, being clear as to my own values too. This is what I value. This is who I am. So if you want to attract love into your life or emotionally unavailable people in your life, then one thing you could do is you could value emotional, vulnerable connection. And when you meet people that aren't that way, what you do is you don't go into the deep attraction to it in a way where it becomes codependent or unhealthy. You just open up yourself and you don't have conditions. Vulnerability is not a manipulative tactic, by the way. It's not the more vulnerable I become, the more I'm going to get laid, or the more people that I'm going to open myself up to. Vulnerability is a way you are because it's who you choose to be. It's an end of itself. That's the key. It's just be more vulnerable in your life. The more vulnerable you are, the more emotionally available you are, and the more you have your own boundaries, it's going to then really help you, because you're not going to tolerate. People that are emotionally secure would not be with somebody that's emotionally unavailable for that long, because they'd be like, okay, this is a value of mine. Why do you keep playing these games? I'm done. That's why emotionally unavailable people will normally attract also people that are emotionally unavailable, but in a different way. They're just in a needy, codependent way, and then they'll put up with it way longer than any secure attachment style would. So the key to this is becoming more secure by healing the childhood wounding, by realizing it didn't have anything to do with you. It was your parents' shit. And if your partner's being emotionally unavailable, then that's their shit. I have a friend that is going through a divorce/breakup right now. It's both, I guess. And she's realizing that her ex, the person that she's, going through that with, is totally emotionally unavailable, doesn't want to go into the work. And she's realizing how similar this was to her childhood. And she's realizing that she put up with this way longer. She did it. She went back into the relationship. Then she came back out of it again. And now she's done for good. But the lesson for her is to really establish her boundaries. What's important for her. And a lot of it is realizing that, she was really worried. What if he goes and meets somebody else? What if he goes and meets somebody else and then they're happy? And my answer to that was it's almost the attachment to what he does is almost well, if I could fix him, either you want him to go through the pain you're going through, or you don't want him to find love. You're worried that he's going to reaffirm your false belief, but you believe it in the moment, that you're unworthy, unlovable, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. He's emotionally unavailable. He doesn't want to go into the work. You're starting to do the work. So realize if he goes to someone else, it has nothing to do with you. It's just that you're not giving him the same codependent patterns you used to give him. You're not tolerating what you used to tolerate, and therefore it doesn't fit anymore. There may be somebody else that fits that mold better than you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's unconditional in realizing that what he does has nothing to do with you. What she does has nothing to do with you. You just may be going deeper within yourself, and there's somebody else that will fulfill that relationship dynamic better now that you're growing out of it, now that you're becoming more secure, or you're working through your patterns of codependency or emotional unavailability. But in the same way, it's we're trying to fix our partners like we're trying to fix our parents. Because if we could fix them, they will then love us. We have to give up the game of fixing, because we're also implying there's something wrong. That was... in past relationships, I've realized that I've tried to fix. I'm wait, I'm implying they're broken. So maybe they'd want to find people that just don't think they're broken. That's my shadow. And I've had to do that by healing my own energy of myself and how I relate to my mom and my dad. I realize they're not broken. They're going through their path. They're going through their journey. But also, it's not my responsibility. And I'm enabling them if I keep trying to fix them. You may be enabling somebody to keep being emotionally available, just keep you just close enough to where you're not too close, but not far enough away to where they feel like you're gone. You're enabling them to continue their same pattern. The key to this is detaching from it and realizing your own values, your own boundaries, your own emotional availability, and going into your own vulnerability. The more I've looked at my identity, my self-image, and realized my own self-worth by detaching from the childhood stuff and realizing it had nothing to do with me. My ex-girlfriend shit had nothing to do with me. And it did in a way. I'm not trying to say like I'm not taking any responsibility. It's just that I need to take responsibility for not taking responsibility for other people's shit. You see what I mean? So I'm taking responsibility for my own values. I'm taking responsibility for my own self, my own energy, and I've stopped changing my gravity based on the emotional energy, especially of a feminine energy. I used to do that because in order to survive with my ex-stepmom growing up, I had to tune to her chaotic energy to figure things out so that I could get by and weasel on by without getting hit or hurt. I don't have to do that anymore. And the key for the man is to be grounded, to be firm, to be still, to be in the value system, to hold that container, and to guard that container too. So the key to this, but you're realizing that it has nothing to do with you, and it does because you've allowed it. You've had the lack of boundaries, but it has nothing to do with you in the sense of your self-image, that you're not worthy, you're not good enough. The responsibility you take is not for them. The responsibility you take is for yourself and your own emotional availability. And the key to that is vulnerability, opening up to other people, being more clear, being more directive, knowing that you could get rejected in the process, but it's okay. It has nothing to do with you. Not valuing what people think as much. Valuing what you think, how you feel, your own values. So this is something I recommend that people do. Now, here is something that I want to share with you guys, if I haven't already put it in this episode, but there is a challenge that we're going to be doing. One of the most powerful challenges I've ever done is a 21-day Raise Your Vibration challenge. I'm doing a brand new one. We've ran it 3 or 4 times now. We've had 7,000 people go through it. It is the most powerful thing we do because we are every day doing, we have something that we're doing every day. We're posting it and sharing it in a group and, a virtual group online. And it's like we're wiring in a higher vibration less than 21 days. The testimonies have been insane. But now I felt called to do one that is on magnetic energy and healing our childhood wounding from the past. So I don't know if you've heard me talk about it yet, but starting on July 1st until the 21st, we're going to be going live. I'm going to be going live every single day for 21 days. And we're going to be healing our attachment patterns, becoming more secure. We're going to be letting go of love blocks, love beliefs, feeling unworthy. We're going to learn how to stop abandoning ourselves and how to start loving ourselves and showing up for ourselves. How to attract emotionally available partners, how to become emotionally available, how to be vulnerable. There'll be challenges in there for us to do. And then we're going to be sharing it in the group. It's going to be like the 21-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge, but for love department. So this is for people who are either single or in relationships. If you want to go deeper into your relationship or you want to go deeper into yourself to attract love, the idea is 21 days to a more magnetic you so that you can attract love or you could deepen your relationship in love. And a total transformation, I think, is what's going to happen. And you guys can join right now by going to aarondoughty.com/love, L-O-V-E, aarondoughty.com/love. Check it out. You can join right now, and we are going to be going live. I'll be going live. I've never done this before. I've never gone live 21 days in a row. I'm going to be doing it. And if you're listening to this podcast after the fact, you go to that page. You can either sign up for the next one, or maybe there's, you can, you still go through the community is so strong when we do these things. But this is going to be one of the most powerful things I think we've ever done. I could just feel it. We start on July 1st to the 21st. There'll be challenges, things that you do. You wire in your experience. There'll be vulnerability challenges, writing things out to your ex, healing from your exes and releasing that energy if you need to, and then really healing from your childhood so that you can feel holy, worthy, whole, and complete. So we're going to be doing that starting on July 1st. If you join right now as well at that link at aarondoughty.com/love, that's AARONDOUGHTY.com/LOVE. You will also get 2 bonuses. One is going to be a Q&A with my friend Matt Schaefer, who is a dating and relationship coach. He talks a lot about attachment styles. We're going to be doing a Q&A with him. Plus, my shadow work integration coach, who I've never shared before, is going to be doing I've never, shared his name or anything. He and I, if you join right now, you're going to be doing a call with us. We're going to be answering questions, and it's going to be a group call, and it's going to be so powerful. He has helped change my life more than anything else. He talks a lot about masculine and feminine energy, polarity, healing the childhood woundings, shadow work. It's going to be incredible, but those are bonuses. We're also going to go through the process, and I can't wait to go through this. So if you're excited, let me know. When you join, can you screenshot the confirmation page of when you join, share it on Instagram, and tag me at Aaron_Doughty44, and let me know if you're excited to join. I'll be resharing those throughout the day too, but I'm so excited for this challenge. I can't wait. I hope you guys enjoyed that little segment from my podcast called the Aaron Doughty Podcast. If you want to listen to the rest of that episode, click the link below. You'll see it on iTunes and Spotify. You can download episodes. It's so easy to listen to. You can do it while you're working out, while you're driving. It's so convenient. And that's where new episodes go live every Tuesday and Thursday. Every single week, I have guests coming on the podcast. I have solo episodes, and we go really deep. This is really a place where I get very personable, and I share more about things I'm thinking of. I share my top book insights, and you can check it out and subscribe below, and you will see it there. So iTunes, Spotify, listen to the rest of the episode below as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace, much love, and namaste.